Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
And what a lovely day it is, especially if you're a Mad Max fan. I just got done watching the new Mad Max movie, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, and wow. But before I get into that review, I want to take this opportunity and rank, rate, and review all the Mad Max movies. Now, these reviews, except for Furiosa, will contain spoilers. So if you have not seen any of these movies, do yourself a favor. Save my video, go watch all these movies, then come back and watch this. Or if you've just seen maybe Mad Max Fury Road or just any of the movies, like singly, but not all of them, I will have them all in the description as timestamps if you want to just watch that particular version for your convenience. Let's get into it. Coming in fourth place, we have the OG Mad Max. Taking place in a dystopian Australia in the near future, Mad Max tells the story of a highway patrolman cruising the squid-led back roads that become the breeding ground for criminals foraging for gasoline and scraps. After the grisly death of his wife and child at the hands of a motorcycle gang, Max sets out across the barren wasteland in search of revenge. I gave this movie a 3.5 out of 5. I did really enjoy it, but I think because of the shoestring budget and when it came out, it was a little slow and sometimes tedious to get through. But by the time it did end, you're just like, wow, that was actually really good. Mel Gibson's performance was excellent. I thought the villain or the motorcycle gang, the villains, I thought was really cool. Like I did really enjoy the dystopian future of it all. It was definitely something we haven't seen before, and George Miller, the director, I think did fantastic for what he was given. Up next, we have Mad Max 2, aka Mad Max the Road Warrior, coming in third place. After eradicating the biker gang that took his family from him in the first Mad Max, former patrolman Max Rokitansky now scavenges for food and precious petrol, which is gas, on the deserted highways of an energy-starved Australia. Max stumbles upon a small oil refinery in the scorched wilderness. However, there's a catch. The community of survivors is under siege by brutal biker warlord Lord Humongous and his barbarian marauders. Now, to get his hands on as much gas as he can carry, Mad Max will have to provide the defenseless residents with a powerful truck. Using this method, they can transport gasoline to safety. Of course, this world, it's easier said than done. I gave this movie a 4.5 out of 5. I loved it. It was a step up from the first one in almost every way. I thought the post-apocalyptic world being the complete wasteland versus on its way to a wasteland was fantastic. I really enjoyed that the plot was as thin as it was, just looking for gas. They did so much with it, from other biker gangs trying to get gas from other people, and they're just literally fighting for gas out there. And as paper thin as that sounds, it still makes an interesting story. And one of my favorite characters from this movie was this little kid. I don't actually remember if they gave him a name, but he was an angry little angsty child that every time a war broke out, he was there with his little boomerang messing people up. Pay attention to that little kid because he will come around later on in this video. Next up, in fifth place, we have Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. It's a pretty cool title, actually. Left for dead in the unforgiving deserts of post-apocalyptic Australia, after defeating Lord Humongous' barbarian bikers in Mad Max 2, Max happens upon Bartertown, a remote market town outpost in the middle of the dry wasteland in the realm of the autocratic Queen Auntie entity. But there, a lethal challenge awaits Max in the Thunderdome, the stronghold's combat arena. As Max finds himself once again stranded in the vast wilderness, he discovers the peaceful haven of the Lost Tribe, a community of marooned children who survive on their own, waiting for a hero. I gave this movie a 3 out of 5. It wasn't the best Mad Max movie, but it wasn't horrible. That's not anybody's fault, as this really wasn't supposed to be a Mad Max movie to begin with. Because at the end of Mad Max 2 Road Warrior, the narration, before the credits roll narration, says that he left the compound that he was in and was never seen again, which that means he was never seen again. But this movie, Beyond the Thunderdome, was actually supposed to be like a sequel or spiritual sequel to Lord of the Flies, but Warner Brothers thought it would be interesting what if Max found the children? And George Miller was like, that is interesting. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it went down, but somewhere in there, somebody thought it was more interesting than the Lord of the Flies sequel, and that's how this was conceived. Now, the wasteland part of this movie I thought was really cool. The fact that just fighting to survive, as that seems to be the overall plot of these movies. I mean, there's obviously other things going on, but you got to fight for what you're looking for. So him coming across the Thunderdome, and they're like, hey, you have to fight to survive. And then afterwards, he finds these children. It just didn't seem as a whole very Mad Maxy to me. So that's why the low score, which I don't really need to justify to anybody but myself. But that's where I'm at. Didn't hate it, but didn't love it. Next up, we have Mad Max Fury Road in first place. Now, Spencer, why would you say that was first place and you still have another movie to go? Well, that's because I'm going in order of movies being released. So, you're welcome. I don't know. Anyway. In the stark desert wasteland populated by a broken humanity driven with survival in the unending ravage for gasoline, once again, gasoline is gold, a loner named Max finds himself unwantedly caught in the middle of a chase while aiding the heroine Furiosa and her female companions. She struggles to return to her homeland and escape the clutches of a ruthless desert gang leader named Immortal Joe. I gave this movie a perfect score, 5 out of 5. Obviously, it's number 1. But yeah, I didn't find anything wrong with this movie. It's nearly 40 years after the first one, so it's interesting that they brought back the character Max, who looks to be the same age as Mel Gibson was in the second or third movie. But here's an interesting theory that I can get behind. So the kid that I mentioned with the boomerang from Mad Max 2 grew up to be this Max, and the reason why they call him Max is because he looked up to Mad Max in that one. And that age gap makes a lot of sense. So I can get behind that theory. If anybody else can get behind that theory, awesome. If you have a different theory, please let me know in the comments. But Tom Hardy as Max, Charlize Theron as Furiosa, I thought was amazing. They're both great actors, and to see them in this type of world was excellent. This movie being 80% practical effects is insanity. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. The set pieces, the batshit crazy action sequences, everything about this movie to me was just beautiful. The cherry on top of the cake, just chef's kiss. I can't say anything negative about this movie, nor will I, because then I would be a liar. Last but not least, coming in second place, we have Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Now I'm going to keep this short and sweet as it just came out. Furiosa is a prequel to Fury Road and the origin story of renegade warrior Furiosa before her encounter and team up with Mad Max. I gave this movie a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was excellent. It didn't top Fury Road for me, but it was damn near close. The action sequences, all the set pieces, the extensive world building that all of these movies have gone above and beyond for, I thought was fantastic. Anya Taylor-Joy playing young Furiosa, I thought was amazing. She absolutely killed the role, as she does all of her roles. Go watch all of her movies. I can't say enough about her movies, but that's not this video. Chris Hemsworth killed it as the villain. He did a fantastic job. He was believable. His acting skills are amazing. And even though I loved him as Thor, seeing him out of the realm of good guy, just for acting purposes alone, I thought was fantastic. The craziest part about all of these movies to me is George Miller, the director. He directed all these movies, and I believe he wrote all of them as well, which these movies span almost 50 years. That's absolutely incredible, and you can see his love for the craft and world building in each one of these movies as each one expands Wasteland in a different way than you've ever seen it. These movies definitely set a precedent for post-apocalyptic world building, and it's a great stepping stone for any other movies or TV shows that take that same story building route. So in conclusion, in this order, these are my rankings of the Mad Max saga, or whatever you want to call it. Mad Max Fury Road, number 1. Mad Max or Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, number 2. Mad Max 2, aka The Road Warrior, number 3. The first Mad Max, number 4. And number 5, Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching and I appreciate your support. Have a good day.